Welcome to the Joe Cortez Healthcare Talk Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, with my co-host, Virginia Paciocco. We're going to be talking some important topics today because of the holidays upon us. And there's a lot of things that are going on, especially during the holidays. And that topic will be depression. Something that we all go through at one given time or another, and then we have to say to ourselves, what do we do? So I brought Virginia in today to talk to you about depression. Virginia, welcome to the show. And thank you for being here because today, Christmas Eve, is a day that mostly everybody's out shopping or at home getting ready for the big dinner. And I know you'll be doing something today at your home. So,
well, thank you for having me, Joe, and Merry Christmas to everyone. And I appreciate you having me today. And you're absolutely correct. I think depression's a good topic for today. A lot of people feel the pressure during the holidays, whether they don't have family, they're all alone. So I just think it's really important today to practice self-love and understand that you are loved, and not to feel so sad.
Exactly. Now, there's times that people throughout the year, they've done things maybe had not been up to par with what they should be doing. They weren't doing it. So sometimes they feel that guilt feeling. So what can you tell us about people that are feeling guilty about something or just depressed because a loved one has passed or they have a split up of whatever, they've lost their spouse or they've broken up with their significant other?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What advice can you give individuals out there that are going through these difficult moments? Because, it is sad sometimes when you feel like you're lost, you're lonely. But what can we do to overcome that?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things I'd like to say about that. I think guilt does have value in keeping us on track when we do things that we know are wrong. So my first tip is to really be aware of when those moments do come up so you can gauge for yourself, okay, did I do something inappropriate or not? And if you didn't, then it's actually being kind to yourself and loving yourself enough to know that you didn't do anything wrong and trusting yourself. So, guilt does have a purpose, but I think as humans, we take it a little too far and then we punish ourselves. So I would say, definitely be kind to yourself, honor yourself. And when you do have a guilty feeling that's appropriate, observe it, realize what you did, and then correct your behavior. And not sitting in that guilt, because we can let it prolong, which is where depression can come from.
Right. And people feel a little bit of anxiety because of that. So, what tools are available for how should they be thinking when they get that anxiety? You get the anxiety attack, something's not right. What do you do? I mean, you really feel like you don't want to do something foolish. You want to do something to keep yourself, keep yourself looking beautiful, keeping beautiful. And that's important, but I mean, what do you do when you have the anxieties?
So I think anxiety is an interesting thing. I have suffered from it myself. It's, people do go through that. One of the biggest tips for anxiety is staying in the present moment, because there's a saying that is anxiety is when you're living in the future and depression is when you're living in the past. So if you're having an anxious moment, trying to bring yourself back to the present moment to limit the fret of what's going to happen, and staying real in the moment is one great tip for battling anxiety, is really staying present, being in the moment. And then also gratitude. I can honestly tell you it happened to me this morning at the gym. I was having a little anxious moment, comparing myself and all this other stuff, and I literally stopped and practice. I'm grateful I have a car. I'm grateful that I got here. I'm grateful I'm healthy enough to even come to the gym. Never mind having anxiety about what I don't have. So I would say practicing gratitude and staying in the moment are two huge things that you can do, that you can control, that are in your power to help you with anxiety.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they look at that rear view mirror, overlooking back, forget about the past. That's what causes the depression. And like you said, the anxiety, well, for some people it's normal. Some people, I can throw anything at me. I can take it. Maybe because I was a fighter. I was able to take it and get up and keep going. But I think that sometimes we have to just say to ourselves, I can do better. I know I'm here for a purpose. Things are going to be better. There's no question about it. I think that we keep thinking like that, focus on what's coming ahead without getting too anxious about it, but just say, it comes with time. You got to pace yourself to get there.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think we don't realize how much our own thoughts are really what's causing the anxiety versus the actions that other people do. So I would say thinking about when you're having that moment, what am I supposed to be learning right now, instead of allowing your mind to drift off to what did I do wrong? It's right, it's wrong, it's bad, it's good. Like all those types of judgments can produce anxiety. So literally just changing your phrase from what did I do wrong to what am I supposed to be learning can help calm you down, because then you can just be in the experience and understand it's just a moment in time and you're meant to learn something from it, not suffer from it.
That's amazing. One of the things I was thinking about, sometimes we look at the stars. I like to look at the stars, but there's more to it than just looking at the stars. What can you tell us a little bit about astrology?
Yeah.
I know you're pretty good at that. Tell me a little bit touch a little bit. I think that can help individuals out there that are suffering from depression.
Sure.
Maybe they can look at life a little differently.
Absolutely. And honestly, I am a licensed life coach, but one of the tools that I use that some people would consider out of the box is astrology. And what I love about it, especially when it comes to depression or anxiety, it can really teach you about yourself, and then you can stop wishing you were different than you are, because that does cause people anxiety because of the word should. I should be doing it this way, I should be doing it that way. And what astrology can do for you is help you identify who am I as a unique individual rather than what should I be doing. So what I do is I take people through their chart and I help them understand each piece of their personality, not just what you see in the newspaper. I think one big misconception is like, oh, I'm a Leo, and then they label that person as that. But actually, your astrology chart is made up of lots of different things that can help you learn the intricacies of who you are so that you can be more confident within yourself and calm down your anxiety. I think there's just a lot of misconceptions about astrology that people they try to make it something that it isn't. But it's one of my favorite tools.
Right now, I'm a Libra.
Okay.
So tell me, what are my signs?
Yeah, so one thing about Libras, and if you have a Libra in your life, they like peace, they like tranquility. So you're going to give Libra anxiety if your tone is too high, if the environment's too crazy, if it's not comfortable. They really like things to be in balance and aesthetically beautiful. So without even knowing it, someone in your life could, just by raising their tone of voice, could throw you into anxiety because they don't understand that you versus other people need things to be peaceful.
Right, but it's true, because I'm an easygoing guy. I'm very peaceful. I don't like fights. The only time I like fights is with the boxing. Those are the only guys I
was saying, how do you end up in boxing and you don't like fights?
Well, I don't like to fight per se. I don't like to argue. I don't like to be in a misunderstanding situation. I like to make life easy.
Yeah.
I want let's take it easy. Let's talk it out.
Yeah.
We can talk things out. I'm not perfect, but I'm hard to beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it comes to that, I like to make things the right way, but without fighting. I think talking to one another, you can make things easier, understanding, caring, loving, and all that, and a big hug at the end.
Yeah. So just to demonstrate one example of how astrology can work, Libras like justice.
Yeah.
They like things to be fair. So it makes sense that you would be a referee because you understand what is just and fair.
I'm fair, but I'm firm.
Exactly. And so you're living up to your Libra-like qualities by being doing what you do.
Yeah. Now, there's individuals out there, I'm sure they're watching the show. Some of them are going through some depression right now. Mm-hmm. This is some critical moments for them, and a lot of people out there watching around the world. I'd say out of a group of 100, I would say a good 30, 35 of them are going through some depression.
I had two people in my own family this morning going through it because of the holidays, because of Christmas, because of their expectation of what Christmas should look like.
Yeah.
And so, that can cause depression for people at this time.
Yeah, well, I think if people should look at life like every day, treat it like if it's Christmas every day.
Yeah.
Don't try to special day comes about in a big event. They get all anxious. They get kind of, what am I going to do? They start freaking out. That's not the way to go. Take it easy. Everything works out. Always works out.
Yeah. So what do you feel about expectations? Like, how do you feel like that can cause depression or anxiety if you expect something?
Well, what are some people, especially when it comes to health, like me, I give you an example. When I was in a hospital last year, I was in there for 5 months, part of last year and part of this year. From November to March, I was hospitalized in the intensive care unit. And you know what? Talking about being depressed, that's a place to be depressed. And I wasn't. I would say, you know what? if I got to go, I got to go, you know. But you know what? I'm not going to freak out because it's not going to make matters any better. So I said to myself, let me take it easy. I'm going to just take some notes, and I know what I got to give to who, my grandchildren, my daughter. Everybody gets a little bit of everything. But you know what? I wasn't freaking out. I said, I know I'm going to make it, but I'm not 100% sure, but I'm not going to freak out over it. So I tried to make it the best I could. And I was saying things, doing things, because all the medication I was on, I was hallucinating. I was going all kinds of yelling. And I said,
wow.
And that was not me, you know. So I was saying things I don't even remember. I offended some people I don't even remember. But they told me, yeah, you did a lot. I said, really? But that's part of that when you go through that COVID situation. But I tell you that I feel right now like I'm 100% back when it comes mentally, how I feel about things, my heart, my feeling towards people. I think I couldn't be any better than I am right now. I love everybody. I care for people, even the ones that don't like me. They don't like me. I'm sorry. They don't have good taste.
I love that. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, that is like not having an expectation. You just were prepared but didn't expect in either direction, so you were able to stay peaceful.
Yeah, you got to stay peaceful because times could be worse, you know. And people got to understand when you care for somebody and you love them and you mean well and you try to just be yourself, but in a caring, loving way, like you say, you have to love yourself as well in order to make yourself feel special.
Yes.
If you hate yourself, if you don't like the way you look, or the situation financially are not the best, you're going to be going through some difficult moments. And that's when people start saying, you know, Christmas is upon us. You can't get a gift for everybody, but you know, send a little note, a little message. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year, and I wish you the best. You know, I wish I was there with you. I can't be there with you, but my heart is with you always.
I think that has so much value. I think the gift thing has gotten a little bit commercialized.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a terrific value because what people really want to do is feel loved.
Yeah.
They want to feel like they belong. So if you can reach out to someone today and you've just thought about them, take the time to do that and just literally tell them that you love them, you care about them, and they're valuable.
That's it. That's very important. Just tell them you love them, you care for them, no matter what. Whether you like me, don't like me, I'll always love you no matter what. That's what you got to say to yourself. And be happy and be content because, like I said before, they don't like you, that's okay. Because like I said before, not everybody has good taste.
I've never heard that statement. I'm going to use that. Can I steal that from you?
Sure, you can take it.
I love it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that life goes forward, and we have to keep focused on what we're going to be doing next. Mm-hmm. Now, what are some of the tips you can give individuals out there? I know you got 10 tips.
I do. I have 10 tips to avoid Christmas depression. So if you have a pen, write this down. For one, the first tip is make plans ahead of time. It's a little late. Today's Christmas Eve, but New Year's is coming. Like, don't wait for the last minute to make plans, and then you're flustered that the day isn't going the way you want it to go. So that's number one.
But you know, you got Three Kings Day, and that's in January.
That's true.
So you can use that as your Christmas gifts. But those days, you get the specials for the Christmas now. Christmas is over, everything goes down. You give them for Christmas Three Kings Day gifts. That's what the Three Kings did back in the day.
Yes, they did.
They came out January 6th.
Yeah.
So you got an excuse there.
Yeah, that's true. So make a plan for that day. Make a plan for New Year's. Just have something orchestrated. And if you're in the situation where you truly don't have anyone, then go feed the homeless. Join a meetup group. Go where there are people so that you aren't isolating yourself. Because during this time, even if you're a loner, isolation can really bring on depression. So I would say if you don't have a close-knit circle of friends, then go out there and give to someone else because, you know, they may be in the same situation.
Yeah, I think that if you can touch somebody and that person can touch somebody else, you've done your job very good.
Yeah, for sure. The second biggest tip, I think, is avoiding family conflict. And I know that sounds like easier said than done, but if you just go in with zero expectation of how they're supposed to act, it'll relieve anxiety for you. So, go into those, situations with all costs trying to avoid conflict because we're here to celebrate and be together.
Right.
So be mindful of your own actions, lower your expectations of what you expect them to do so that you're not disappointed.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying let them mistreat you by any means. I'm just saying don't have rigid, long, hard rules for your family members.
Now, in some family, there's a lot of abuse that goes on in the house, whether it's with the children or with your spouse or significant other. There's always sometimes there's always some kind of misunderstanding. How can you control that?
You can't. The only thing you can control are your own thoughts about it, your perspective, and how you're viewing what they did. So just understand you always hold the control and the power in your own mind, no matter what is happening outside of you. It is your job to mature up your own thoughts and not allow them to run away with you. The other person can say or do what they're going to do, but you can protect yourself by how you perceive the situation.
Yeah, I think that thinking about all of that in advance is good. Some people, when you're getting ready, dressed up in the morning, putting on your makeup and make yourself look beautiful.
100%.
You have to
go there feeling good.
You ready? It makes you feel good.
That's right.
Feel good about yourself. You get a good start in the morning.
Yes, I believe. And speaking of morning, another tip is make sure you're getting enough sleep. Sometimes we're running around, we're trying to get gifts, we're exhausting ourselves, which makes us cranky. So make sure that you're not overcommitting yourself so that you're fully rested. So if you're in challenging situations, you're not tired on top of it.
Right. Now that's important. That rest is so important, and for your athletes, the athletes out there, one thing that I used to know when I was a fighter, that rest is so important. To sleep, you got to get at least good 8 hours sleep every night.
Yes.
And not worry too much about anything else. You go to sleep, go on that pillow, go out like a light.
Right.
Take the full count there.
Yeah. I mean, sleep is underrated. I get my 8 hours every day.
Good, very good. And you get up every morning, you go to the gym, you work out?
Every morning I do go to the gym. But
6 o'clock?
Yep, this morning I was up at 5:30.
Yeah, you go do the exercise,
Yep.
keep you, you're thinking about, you know what? You should get a heavy bag and punch the heavy bag and let the frustration out.
100%. That's another good tip for depression. Make sure you're exercising. Get outside. Get some fresh air. Go do some vigorous activity to burn off some steam. So that's another one of my 10 Christmas tips.
Yeah, and don't give up. Keep going.
That's right.
Like Muhammad Ali said, no pain, no gain. You have to keep going. You start counting when you feel the pain. You don't count 1, 2, forget about those numbers. When you start getting the pain, that's when you start counting.
That's absolutely true. I agree.
Yeah. Well, tell us more of your tips.
Sure. Another tip is, as much as I love that everybody's watching us today on Facebook, maybe minimize some of your social media activity. I'll give you a little example. A friend called me this morning. She got on her social media, saw some family members together celebrating, and all of a sudden she started crying because she felt like she was missing out. She had fear of, FOMO, fear of loss. So I would say if you know that you're sensitive to this stuff, minimize your social media activity during these times, so that you don't get yourself all worked up about what other people are doing.
Yeah, sometimes you put on the news. The first thing I put on is the news, and maybe I'll start changing that habit. I'm going to take your advice. Don't watch all that media stuff out there. You hear so many stuff, bad things going on around the world, especially the pandemic that's out there is getting worse and worse every day. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to wear that mask. You got to keep your distance. You have to worry so much about all of that. You stay away from big gatherings. I mean, this Christmas, this New Year is going to be kind of tough, I think. Be a little worse than last year. At the rate it's going right now, with the new viruses out there.
Yeah, we want to be considerate of other people. You may be healthy and curing it, and then they're not. So,
yeah.
But social media, I think, can definitely bend people out of shape. So I would say monitoring that,
right.
For sure.
Give me the next tip.
So the next one I feel like is not blaming yourself and not beating yourself up for, the way things are. I would just say going easy on yourself, because sometimes we have a tendency like it's my fault. What did I do wrong? We all get to make choices. So if there was anything, beating yourself up isn't going to help any. So I would say going easier on yourself and not beating yourself up.
And don't beat nobody else up neither.
And don't beat anybody else up either. Yes, let's not lose our temper during Christmas and beat up family members.
Christmas or any time, don't beat up on no one.
No.
You're going to end up in handcuffs, and that's not a good place to be.
Yeah, another sensitive topic and tip is definitely trying not to practice escapism. Getting drunk, getting high, like that is probably not going to help the situation. Alcohol is a depressant. I'm not judging anyone who drinks, but if you already know that you're having a depressed moment, that is not going to help the situation. And on top of that, if you're around family members where there's potential conflict and you drink, alcohol is going to escalate that problem.
Yeah. So that drinking is not a good thing.
Drinking
or drugs are going to just make you go the other way, and you're going to definitely be in serious trouble then.
Yeah, I would just say monitor it for sure, at least around the holidays when you know you're going to be triggered, because that's the thing. Our family members know how to trigger us the most.
Now, there's a number that they can reach out to when there's somebody, they had the suicidal thoughts and they're thinking something crazy. I mean, it's not the best way to go, but I mean, where can they reach out to?
Yeah, so I honor people who are depressed, and if you find yourself in that situation and you can't handle it, please reach out. The National Suicide Hotline number is 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. And seek out a professional, because there's depression and then there's diagnosable depression. So you want to make sure you're monitoring that during these times.
Yeah, I think maybe it's good also for you to, where you're under that situation where you feel depressed, and maybe call somebody that you can trust, somebody you can talk to, your best buddy, and just say hello, tell them, what you're going through. Just don't be isolated, and get more depressed. Maybe call somebody or go out to the store, go to the mall, go walking around, but don't stay locked in that house. But you have to be careful again because of the pandemic. People are afraid to go out. But I mean, you can't tell that when you go shopping for Christmas, all the stores are packed like crazy. People are not thinking, but that is a place to at least go out and let out your frustration, walk around the block. If you have a pet, go for a walk with your pet, talk to your pet, do something, but don't stay isolated and do something stupid.
Yeah, I agree for sure. And I would like to say, like, checking in with your belief systems. So, you can't have conflicting beliefs, because that will cause you depression. I love the holidays, but my family's mean. Like, it's somewhere along the line we have to get our thinking, our actions, and our beliefs in alignment, or we're going to feel depression. So always checking in with yourself about what you believe to be true and where you may be in conflict within yourself, and then straightening that out.
Right. Talking about straightening out. Sometimes you go into your closet. That's a good place to start.
That's something you can do.
Go in your closet and say, you know what? I'm not going to be depressed this year. I'm going to take all the clothes I'm not going to use, I've been using.
100.
Take them to a Goodwill location, someplace where people can use it, because, I mean, at least it makes you feel better about yourself. You're giving some stuff away to people that need it. Make you feel a bit better about yourself.
And smiling, right? Let's not negate that small thing. Smiling at other people. We're wearing masks. It's hard to smile with your eyes. Like, bring light to other people. If that's the most thing that you do and you bring love to others, you're winning.
Yeah. Get the mask with a big smile on it.
There, I've seen those.
Paint it on the mask. This way you got to get a big smile all the time.
Yeah, be careful. I was just going to say maybe wink at people to smile, but that could get you in trouble too. Then you end up fighting.
Especially when you're with a beautiful one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, most of all, life is about love, and we want to get back to remembering that. And it sounds cliche, but it's really true. That's the most powerful word, is love.
Yeah, exactly. Without love, you kind of feel lost, but love yourself first.
Yes, and working on yourself.
Exactly.
And if you don't really love where you're at right now, then try to just know that you're going to be moving forward and doing more things. And try to grow. Yeah,
better things are coming. I always say better days are coming no matter what. No matter what you do to me, I know better days are coming. That's what I can say, And, keep yourself beautiful, keep yourself made up nice, keep your hair, I don't have any, but keep your hair nice and keep yourself happy at all times.
Yeah, so if you were walking around wishing you had hair and getting depressed about it, it's not going to change anything.
I tell you, I love the way I am. No hair, clean,
That's a Libra for you. They want to be beautiful.
Give you another topic.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about was personal growth, right? So people ask me all the time, what can I do right now if I can't afford to come to you, Virginia, or if I can't afford to get a counselor? So I have 8 basic tips that you can do at home right now for free, or relatively much for free, that I wanted to share that can help people work on themselves right now in the present moment. So tip number 1. Practicing gratitude. Literally waking up in the morning and practicing gratitude. Instead of making that list of things you have to do or didn't do, just write down 5 simple things that you're grateful for. That doesn't cost a thing to get up in the morning and do that.
Right. And loving yourself is one.
Loving yourself is one.
Keeping your house neat is another one.
Looking in the mirror and being grateful that you're there, you're alive, you have all your faculties, that's something to be grateful for.
Yeah, health is so important. I mean, that's why we're here today talking about healthcare, because health is important. So you got to eat healthy, stay healthy, exercise like you do every day, and that's something that keep you focused and keep you motivated.
Well, those are the other two things on my tips. Number one, eating whole foods when possible, not just going through the fast food line, because you want to nourish your body. And the other one is drinking plenty of water to avoid dehydration and fatigue, because then our brain's not firing as well as it could be if we're dehydrated. So, practicing gratitude, drinking water, eating whole foods, going to the gym. Those are a couple. Another tip is get a book. Pick up something, and if you can't read, then get an Audible. Feed your brain positive things. Turn off the news and start feeding yourself positive information.
I love music.
Music is another way.
Music is the way to go. I listen to that music, I lay down, I listen to every word that's sung. It's something that means a lot to me, and I just enjoy it.
That's amazing. That's a great tip.
Music is really a way to happiness.
I'm going to have to add that to my list. I'm going to put that as a tip. Another tip is forgive someone. If there's someone you're harboring, negative energy about, forgive them. And if you can't forgive them in person, write them in a little note and then throw it away or whatever you want to do with it. But find forgiveness in your heart, because forgiveness can take away anger, resentment, all those negative feelings that are causing the depression.
That's me. That's why I ask people to forgive me. When I had that COVID, I was the worst. I was cussing people out. I never cussed. I was upset. I was really bad. I tell you, and I asked the doctors later on, after I got through all those medications, what caused me, what was the side effects? He said, all those medications were making you be the person that you were not.
Right.
So some people forgave me. A few didn't, I guess. But you know what? I feel sorry for them, because I learned how, like you said, you got to learn how to forgive. Forgive and forget.
And that starts with yourself. Forgive yourself if you made a mistake.
Exactly.
Forgive yourself if you said the wrong thing. Forgive yourself if you ate that thing you didn't want to eat. I mean, whatever it is, find forgiveness.
I know, but talking about eating,
today's going to be a big day for eating.
That's going to be tough. I mean, especially now with the holidays.
Yes.
How can you forgive yourself when you got that big old plate of good food in front of you?
Yeah.
Man, kind of hard. But you can cheat a little bit with the food. Just have yourself.
Just find balance, I would say. Don't gorge yourself because it's that day. Enjoy what you like to eat and just don't overdo it. That's the best tip I can give for that.
I can put on another 15 more pounds, up to 40 that I lost. I put on already by 18, another 15, 10 or 15, I'd be happy. Even though my doctor said, Joe, stay the way you are. You look great, stay the way you are. I said, now 10 more pounds, because my belt now is 31, 32, compared to 36 it was before.
All right.
So, I think I'll go back to 32, I'll be happy.
Okay. The key with that is progress, not perfection. I think that's another area people start getting depressed because they're trying to be perfect and then they fall down, in one area or not, and then all of a sudden they're bummed out. So just always remember, we're a work in progress. We're not trying to be perfect. A human being and perfect together, it doesn't even go. So,
exactly.
Just be patient and kind to yourself.
Yeah. It's so important that you're kind to yourself. But, love thy neighbor, like you love yourself, and you're going to be a lot better in life by being caring, loving, understanding, and lovable. I mean, being lovable is, I think, one of the most important things that we can do in life. It shows our love and attention to people that can really need it, especially yourself, because we all need love. We all need understanding. We all need a big hug once in a while. That hug means a lot. But sometimes when you get the hug back a little stronger than what you're giving, makes you feel even better.
100%. To me, one of my mantras is love is always the answer.
Yeah.
No matter what the situation, love is always the answer. Loving yourself, loving others, staying in love.
Yeah. It's so important, that we give our love, especially to other people out there. You could be a complete stranger, Sometimes I see a regular worker, and I stop, I talk to a regular worker, just because that person could be a porter, clean the empty out the garbage or whatever. I like to talk to people. They're human like we are. We have to be caring and understanding and give them some attention that they never get. I love to give attention to everybody, wherever I can, to make them feel special.
That's a beautiful gift.
There's nothing better than that, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. And celebrate your wins. Take time to celebrate when you do something right. We beat ourselves up enough, so celebrate your wins as well.
Anyway, we have a lot more to talk about when it comes to depression, but this time of year is a time of year that we wanted to share. Virginia and I wanted to share with you those feelings about making yourself feel special, make yourself feel, your loved one feel special, because these days are very special to all of us, especially the holiday. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a healthy and prosperous new year. And Virginia, just a couple of words.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Lots of love to all of you. My heart to you and to your family. And enjoy your day today and tomorrow.
We'll see you next week.